So I have an example here for that. And again, I'm going to be pivoting off this E note here on the 12th fret, and the lick is going to go like this. Okay, here it is slowed down. If you notice, every other note is just this E here, and I'm just going like this. All right, so there's one more, example of how you can use this. So, again, learn these licks and experiment with them. Try to squeeze every, possible lick you can off of each one of these ideas. And, again, sit down with a tape recorder with some rhythm tracks and just experiment with these ideas over chords. I'm sure you'll enjoy going up with some cool stuff. Okay. Now, the next section I want to get into is a section on arpeggios. Okay, let's first talk about what an arpeggio is. Okay, we're going to work in the key of D major here, and let's talk about a D major chord. Actually, what a D major chord is, it's built from a D major scale, and how you build this is you take the first, third, and fifth tones from D major, scale. So if you play the scale, D is the first note, F sharp's the third, and A is the fifth. So there you have a 1, 3, 5, a triad here based on a D major scale. So that makes a D major chord. Now what we want to do here is add a D and a higher octave right here, and the F sharp and a higher octave again, just to make the chord sound more full, more tones in the chord here. That's basically where you build a chord. Now what an arpeggio is it's a line, played from a chord. So you want to play a chord as a single note line and not let the notes ring together as in a chord, but just use it as a line, such as this. Now all I'm doing there is playing first, third, and fifth in one octave, and then the first, third, and fifth again in the second octave. And then I'm coming back, down the arpeggio scale. So now the next thing you want to do here once you learn this position is you want to build an arpeggio off of every chord in the key of D major. So let's first look at the chords that are in key in D major. You'll notice that D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp minor with a flat 5, and D the octave again. There you have a chord scale. So now, if you're not, too sure about how to do this, take a piece of paper and just write these chords out that I just gave you, the correct chords, and then all you need to do is find the first tone, the third tone, and the fifth tone of each chord, and you can build an arpeggio, like that off of each chord. So you'll need to do that in every position, and it's going to sound like this. All right, so there you have an arpeggio off of each chord in the key of D major. Now, another real popular thing nowadays is, if you notice, I played these arpeggios with down, up strokes. There's another popular way to do it, which is called sweeping. Instead of picking every note down, up, individually, you're going to just sweep through the chord pattern with a downstroke on the way, down, and then an upstroke, and you're going to hit all the notes in the chord, with one stroke like this. So if you notice, I hit all the notes on the way down with one stroke, and then a stroke, you know, all the notes with a stroke on the way out. Like that. And this is a real popular thing nowadays. You know, a lot of guys are doing this. If you experiment with this and, you know, try